Hey y'all, I hope you're having a good day. It is storming so bad here, so I'm hoping I don't lose connection. I wanted to thank you for all the get wells. Feeling a little bit better today. Thank you for the virtual chicken soup, was great. Now I'm sure that we've all heard that Jose Roman has passed away, and we don't know the manner of it as far as I know as of yet, but I want to condole to his kids especially. They were just back in his life, I think, after a long period of time, and they were working on their relationship. So, um, condolences to his children. So, um, okay, so I have been going back and listening to different things, trying to pick up on something we haven't really talked about or that we haven't really seen. Some of this at the beginning is going to be very repetitious. So, um, but there's a lot of inconsistencies in almost everyone that has ever made a statement in some case, including Jody Sue. And Jody Sue and Andy have always been on my radar from early on. And, you know, her making a comment like, she's got to get ahead of the cart. Well, why would you need to get ahead of the cart? Is there something that you are trying to keep us from looking at? She's trying to control it. And why would she have to feel the need to control and influence the way people think about Summer's disappearance? I mean, this is a little girl that's gone missing. Why would you need to get in front of a cart for a missing child? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, why does she need to direct how we think and feel about things? It makes her look suspicious to me. And we've had 6 people come forward saying that her son was up in the woods, sneaking around, off running when he is spotted. These 6 people are not tweakers, and they were just up there trying to help Dawn and Candace get their house in order so that they can get their boys back. So why was he in the woods? Jody Sue and Candace were allegedly pretty good friends at the time Summer disappeared. So what's changed? And if they were that close, then why wouldn't he just walk straight up the driveway and say, Candace, what's going on? Any new leads? Who are these people? I mean, if you're close to someone, you could do that. But why sneak around in the woods? That's suspicious. And living with Jody Sue, knowing how she is about property lines and people coming on her property or Andy's property, she doesn't stand for it. So he's grown up knowing that it's not okay to go walk around on people's property without consent. I would think that would have been drilled into his head long ago. I mean, take Dobbs for an example. He actually bought a piece of property near hers and parked his car a little on her property, and her and Andy had a conniption fit and went down there, threatened him, ran him off, and he ended up staying in a motel room and never went back, and now he's stuck with a worthless piece of property. So Andy Jr. knows that's not appropriate. So why was he up there? Now, I hate to say anything about a 20-year-old boy, 20-year-old young man, maybe 20 now, close to it. But, he's been exposed to a whole lot of inappropriate behaviors in his life, from domestic violence, possible materials that he has seen. We know his dad has had a progressive pornography problem, according to Jody Sue. The drugs that they sold, that they did, he's probably been exposed to all of it. All of it. So, how much, with everything he's witnessed growing up, how much has it affected him and affected his behavior, right? Fred Hill said Andy Jr. is liable to do anything. Well, he has to have a reason for saying that. You can't just say that for no reason. He's either seen or heard some things about this young man to make him think that way, right? I would think. And, you know, I don't believe everything Fred Hill says. Honest to goodness, I don't. But in my opinion, and I can't believe I'm saying this, he seems to be one of the more credible ones right now. He's placed Andy Jr. in a pool alone with Summer, right? And how did he see that? Well, him and Dawn were talking about a truck for sale. And he went up there to tell Dawn that he wanted that truck. And he saw Andy Jr. and Summer in the pool together, alone. Now, let's talk about who the cousins are. Now, we got Fred Hill, right? And then, let me go up here just a tad bit. Oh, darn, too far. Okay, then we got Andy Bernard. They're cousins, right? Then you got this guy, Randy Hass, cousins. Then you got this one, Marlene Crawford, cousins. So as close-knit as everyone is down there, why would he lie? Why would he lie about Andy Jr.? Why would he say that he's liable to do anything for no reason? Right? Now, you've got some more that we have to look at, and I keep looking at these ones. So we have Frank Light, RSO. Let's throw that one up. RSO. Very good friends with both Dawn and Jody Sue. Jody Sue has defended Frank Light recently, and this is a violent RSO. You got Dawn went over to Frank's house the night Summer went missing. He's frequented Dawn and Candace's property. So we got Frank Light, who is very good friends with, allegedly, Don Sherfy Jr., who will be an RSO pretty soon, having thousands of child pee on his computer and phone. And, you know, I got to say that I think Frank Light sees himself like above the law, in my opinion. And then we can't forget the parents. Dawn will be an RSO soon. Five people charging him with SO. And then you got Candace allegedly messing with a couple of young teen boys. And both of them contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Also, we have Andy and Jody Sue contributing to the delinquency of a minor, the Wells boys. So you have two things in common with Andy Jr. and Sherfy Jr. You have parents that are speaking up and protecting them, getting ahead of the cart maybe. And then you've got Sherfy's dad, Senior, who says that his son made a mistake. No, 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 no. Child P is not a mistake. That is a criminal activity and it's a sickness. And parents should not be covering up inappropriate issues with their kids, because I do believe that it could progress and become more violent and more lewd or whatever. You've got Randy Hass, who is also an RSO, ex-law enforcement, who's known to go to Jody Sue and Andy's house to use the internet, even though he's not supposed to. With all of these people surrounding the Wells and involved in one way or another, it's a recipe for disaster at the expense of summer. Dawn and Candace have said things that no normal parent would say, in my opinion. And then you throw drugs and alcohol and deviant behavior of all of these people, and then you throw some children right there in the middle of it. It's scary. And the more I think about it, all these people and their criminal behavior, I can't help but think that there's several people involved. I can't help it. I feel like it's too organized. So if there's more than one person involved, where did they take Summer? What'd they do with her? Why did they take Summer? I don't like my mind to go places like this, but these are people who have run drugs at a high level, right? Dawn running drugs from Mexico to Utah, and you know, you've had the lights quite big in the area. And along with that lifestyle, other deviant behaviors and criminal activity goes on, whether we want to think about it or not. We've heard Dawn speak out on 3 different occasions that he has seen children for sale in motel rooms and other areas. And you have all these RSOs right there in the immediate area surrounding Summer. It makes my heart very heavy for her. I am going to mute, and I want to play a clip from News Nation. It's a former prosecutor that has some good insight. So I'm going to mute myself out, and I'll play that for you. Okay, hang tight.
Politan, great to have you with us here on Closing Arguments. And this story is breaking.
Bill Johnson, a former federal prosecutor and co-host of the True podcast, joins me now. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
So this little girl just appears to have vanished into thin air. She was reportedly gardening with her family outside. You about the Summerwells case?
Well, I guess to begin with, any time there's a case of this nature, it turns out in the end that the vast majority are committed by someone they knew, whether it's a family member or someone else, someone that knew them. It's very rare that a stranger abduction or a stranger incident like this take place. It does take place. And I've worked on that it's been the case. But I see this as a bit of a, for lack of a better term, a country John Benet Ramsey case, where families made statements, perhaps some inconsistent statements, depending on who you believe. But at this point, there's not enough evidence, apparently, for law enforcement to either show those statements are true, the family's being truthful, or the family's not being truthful, or that any other person they've spoken with has been truthful or not. In John Benet Ramsey's case, they just didn't have enough evidence to link an individual to the homicide. And in this case, we don't have the little girl yet. And so it's a lack of evidence that makes it hard to contradict or corroborate statements. And so far, I think that's the main thing.
And I was reading about this case. It's really interesting. This reignited the search for her aunt, who also vanished from Polk County in 2009. Big coincidence on its face.
That's odd. A coincidence, but things of that nature that happen within families, there's a reason to look a little deeper. And I think in this case, if I'm reading correctly, the other children, that is to say her brothers, may have been taken from the home by Child Protective Services. I've read that. If that's true, there's something more to it that we're not hearing yet. And that's something that law enforcement will have to work. But I'm sure they are, and I'm sure there's much we don't know at this point.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, too. The only clue, as we just heard from that reporter, in her disappearance so far seems to be that red pickup truck. The whole community has been searching. It seems like they would have found something by now. We heard from that officer saying usually we get some sort of credible clue or tip at this point in the investigation.
Well, unless it didn't happen the way their whole basis for what they're doing is based on what I guess the family and maybe some others told them. So if that turns out to be mistaken in terms of its time or not correct, it may be that we had a case where a preacher in Texas murdered his wife and faked as a suicide. And the time frame he gave, which law enforcement relied upon, they just fully relied upon it for the longest time until they realized he was lying about all of it. And his alibi, impossible forensically. And so the foundation of what we start with in a case, it may not be. It may be exactly correct. But if it's a myth, then everything that works from there could be mistaken. And we just don't know enough.
Okay, Bill Johnson, thank you for joining us, host of the True Crime Reporter podcast.
Thanks for watching. Click the red button below so you
Okay, so I find that interesting because, well, we know, well, I feel like it's not a stranger abduction. And he's saying in most cases, it's a family member or someone close to the family. Now, the reason I put all those people up beforehand, before playing this for you, is because all of these people are directly connected to Dawn and Candace. So it really broadens who the suspects could be, right? You know, and he says it's rare for two family members to go missing in the same family, and that is a good indication that you need to look deeper. And then with the boys being gone, that there may be something that we need to be looking at a little harder, right? Or something that we haven't heard yet, which the truth is what we haven't heard yet, in my opinion. I think we can all agree that there's a lot more to what is going on than meets the eye, right? And he said something about, if there's no information because like the lead that they gave the police that day, if it wasn't that at all, then they've had them going down the wrong trail. They're keeping them from looking for Summer, and that upsets me, right? So I do want to mention the red truck. Scotty Skulls has a video, and it's privated. I've mentioned it before, that where he was being trailed and intimidated by someone driving a red truck in the Beech Creek area. Now, I think, and this is just my opinion, that the YouTube community is hitting some nerves in that area, and they're becoming defensive and aggressive. And if any of us go to that area, I think we need to be on high alert, because I feel sure that these people are all watching YouTube. Now, if I had a sub send me a screenshot from his video, and it is of the truck, and you can kind of see someone in the truck, not very clearly, but in my opinion, I do have a comparison photograph that I will put out if he publics that video again. I don't want to put that out unless he puts that out first. So, we have Jody Sue intimidating people that have come forward on YouTube and kind of threatening people to back off. She told Ziggy that the public needs to back off Beech Creek and let Beech Creek do what Beech Creek does. What would that be? Maybe sweep it under the rug, make it go away? You know what I mean? It's like a spider web. It's like all of these people are connected in one way or another, and they all have something on each other. And regardless whether they like each other or not, I think they would protect the information that's down there. And because they have so much on each other, I feel. That's my opinion, Okay, so I am going to share two little clips from Don Wells. One I had put on for just like a little short thing, like 20 seconds, from an interview that he did with Cher on Voices Behind the Wall. So I'm going to mute out. I'll play that, and I'll come back, and then I'll play a second one. Okay. All right. Hang tight. Hey y'all, so back home, and
You answered this one, but if you have any gut feeling about I'd have taken Summer.
I wished I did. Talking to people and stuff, and a couple guys, mentioned that they just don't the people have been here forever, that they just can't, in their minds, see anybody from around here taking her. Because here in Beech Creek, that's just an automatic death sentence. An automatic death sentence. Just an automatic death. An automatic death sentence. That's an automatic death sentence. You're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price. I mean, there's been a lot of bad stuff going on, all kind of stuff. It's a rough area. Talking to a Vietnam veteran earlier, he was telling me about some places in Mexico. They get kids out of the United States and take them to Mexico, you know, for the sex trade thing or whatever it is. And
So I played that clip to kind of give you the kind of an insight into how they think. So, you know, he's saying it's an automatic death sentence down there. So, of course, if they know something, are they going to say something? Or are they just going to keep it quiet? Let Beech Creek do what Beech Creek does. And how many times have we heard Mexico? And he just said a Vietnam veteran said something about, or a veteran didn't say Vietnam, that was talking about a place in Mexico where they take kids out of the United States. And he has mentioned that so many times. You know, this is just seems too organized for me to think that it's just one person. And that's just how I feel. And I don't really like to think like that. Okay, I'm going to play. This is going to be the video where Dawn is talking about no evidence. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic and play that.
For this, do you think that that's what's going to happen?
you can't do that with no evidence. That's impossible, bro. How can you do that? You gotta have evidence.
I don't know what evidence they have. I don't know.
They don't have no evidence, and there's no way they could ever have evidence because it's impossible.
That's always bothered me. It's impossible to have evidence. There's no way. That's why I think it's kind of organized. How is he so confident that there's no evidence? Right? I mean, when he says something like that, you know, it makes me think of him going down a chimney top loop a while back when he filmed that for Cher. I mean, that's always bothered me. And there are spots that he kind of stops the camera on, and I'll post that after I get done with this, because it's just areas that he kind of pauses at, and it makes me wonder, why is he pausing at those areas? And it may be nothing at all. You know, I'm not saying that it is, but at the end of that chimney top loop, you know what's out there? That CCS trucking school. And it is owned by Billy, the drunk that used to go and sleep in their shed. And I have thought, I can't help but to wonder, because they're so close, did someone transport Summer out of the area? No evidence, can't happen, no proof, never will, according to Dawn. What does that mean? There's got to be a meaning to all of this. Fred talked about going, Dawn going to his house the very night that Summer went missing. I can't recall if he was doing drugs, but it seems like he was. But he was talking to him as if nothing happened. He said he didn't seem upset or anything. How is that possible? I can't comprehend that. And I'm going to play this clip of Candace again for y'all. A couple of things. The first thing, and then I'm going to have to skip it down a little bit. But the first thing, she came up on panel. This was on Ernie Shell's channel a little while back, and they asked her something about had she seen any filming or photography concerning children. But she says, and listen, she says, well, there's a lot of things I could tell you, but that would mean my life. So going back to that area and going back to the idea that this was organized in my mind, and I have played with the idea that maybe Candace doesn't know anything. But then again, see, I do that, and then I remember Fred saying that Candace was down walking past his house the day Summer went missing around 4 o'clock. What was she doing down there? Why? I thought she didn't go for walks. And then remember on the 911 call, what did they say? That someone reported the mother went for a run. Well, that could be a drug run, right? But what was she doing down at the end of Ben Hill? And Ben Hill's blocked off down at the end. You could drive on through, but there is still trails that you could probably ride a four-wheeler through or something like that, or horseback or whatever. So why was she down there? See, and when I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, and then something like that pops in my head, and about her allegedly being jealous of Summer. And then I start thinking about, well, she made those boys lay on hot pavement on their stomachs as a punishment, and her and her mom laughing, stuff like that comes back into your head. And then it's like, oh, it's really hard to give these people the benefit of the doubt based on things that people who know them have said. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm going to play that clip from Candace, and I'm going to mute out real quick. and last.
Was this filming? I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff I could say. But, no, there's a whole bunch of say it. There's stuff I can't jeopardize in my life.
Okay, I guess y'all caught that. That there's a whole lot she could know his name first and last.
Kids that reminded you or made you think of it? I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff I could say. But there's a whole bunch of stuff I can't say because it would jeopardize my life.
Okay, I guess y'all caught that. Um, and the way he dog trail and all of that, that it could have been him.
You said in the comments, Heel, is that his name? I think they're talking about Fred Light. No. There's no Fred Light. It's Fred Hill. It is Fred Hill? Fred Hill, okay. His name's Fred Hill, but you know what? I don't talk about Fred Hill. I don't know who Fred Hill is. The only thing I know about Fred Hill is I'm not going to say this because I don't want it out there. Right. And I don't want to, because I've known a lot of stuff that Fred Hill got away with, and I'm scared, and I'm not going to say anything about it. You're scared of Fred? Yeah, I'm scared of Fred. Who the hell ain't going to be scared of him? Well, I ain't scared. He come up there and shoot you, not do, and get away.
Okay, now she's talking about being scared of Fred Hill, but in my opinion, I feel sure that she's scared of Frank Light as well and other people that are down there. She says there's a whole lot I can say and there's a whole lot I can't say because it would jeopardize her life. Now, this is like a repetitive comment by everyone we've talked to down there, right? Or listened to. Right? Jody Sue says it. They all say it. Now, I do want to say that I don't think, just going to backtrack a little. I don't think personally that Jackie Dobbs has anything to do with this. That video that he put out just not too long ago, he's huffing and puffing. I don't even think he can make it down a driveway without having to sit down and rest. He sounds like, I don't know, he may have COPD or is it COPD? Or some kind of a lung problem that would prevent him from being able to make a quick getaway. And that's just my opinion. But I did want to throw that out, you know. But I don't think that it's just Fred Hill that they're scared of. I think Frank Light, I mean, Dawn Wells went to Frank Light's the night that Summer disappeared straight away. So what was that about, right? Makes me wonder. Then we have Fred saying, now I don't know how true this is, but he stated that he saw Andy and Dawn both on Ben Hill Road on the 15th during the day, right? He saw Candace walking down near his house, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? I'm going to play a clip from Jody Sue. Let's just play that and I'll get back with you.
So I'm wearing sandals
And I know the best thing I can do is get into the water. So I step into the creek. Because from there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, you know, worst case scenario. You also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs. And mess up. The dogs messed up. And it was because of other dogs. But Candace and them were out there. I was standing there and the dogs stopped at my feet. And they stopped in a hamper.
And there's another questionable comment by Jody Sue. Washing her feet in the creek. I know we've all heard this. The dog stopped at her feet, and she said the dogs messed up, not because of other dogs, but they stopped at her feet. Why? Why would they stop at Jody Sue's feet? It is very interesting why they would stop at Jody Sue's feet. Now, I am going to play you something that I think is very interesting. These are Fred Hill clips. I've had to listen to them a few times. I did type out what he's saying in case you're having a hard time understanding him. I had to listen. There's still words that I couldn't get, but they are interesting nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and play the first one. I'm going to mute out.
There's been coordinating over it. That's why she moved out had to move out from down there because she got it restraining order, and then that's where it was just hanging towels and stuff. They put her out. You see. The third day after, like I was talking about, they stood down there for 3 days. Well, on the fourth day, all of a sudden, when he don't leave the road, he leaves the whole area, goes in lots of places. It stays there for, what was it, when we finally seen McCumber that night at the case, and he's been gone for like 30-some days at that time.
Right after summer, what was
Yeah, fourth day. Wow. But that's what I'm saying, they stood at the road down there and listened to everything going on day and night, didn't even go home. And then on the fourth day, he just disappears and leaves. And only come back for 30-some days.
I was able to catch something else he said just then. So, isn't that interesting? Now, who is he talking about? He says they. And one thing he said is they don't even get along, but they stood down there 3 days, night and days, listening to everything going on. Well, it's probably not Dawn and Candace, because why would they be listening to everything from the road going on up at their house? So that kind of rules them out in my mind. So who would they be who didn't get along, but they stayed down there 3 days, 3 nights, listening to everything, and on the fourth day he disappeared for 30 days? Suspicious. That's an interesting comment he made. Why would anyone be down there listening to everything going on up on the hill for 3 days and 3 nights, all day, all night, and then he disappears for 30 days? I hadn't caught that before. Have y'all? Did y'all hear that when she originally played that, or it was replayed? Now I'm going to play another clip. Ziggy's like asking if, if Jody Sue's life would be in danger if she talked to Andy. And listen to this and we'll talk about it, okay? I'm going to mute back out.
He's gonna end up dead if I talk.
No, he ain't like that. Not unless She's afraid that he will give up information.
That's what I'm saying.
Puts her guilty.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
that's the only reason that he would. Somebody would. I mean,
I was supposed to meet with her yesterday.
Their accomplice or whatever, you know.
I was supposed to meet with her yesterday.
I know.
I was supposed to meet.
It's just like Marlena Crawford. Like her name's not even mentioned, and she was there that they been staying there like the whole week before. So Mrs. Plymouth to that night. Before she was missing her that night, said something about
Her old man.
Marlena's old man.
Okay, there was a lot going on right there. I realized that Ziggy kind of talked over him. I'd like to ask him a few questions about that conversation. Now, he was saying that the only way he thinks that anything would happen to Jody Sue is if she was going to tell something on someone, or she was an accomplice, or that's the only way he could see anything happening to her. That's very suspicious, y'all. I'm going to play that one more time, because when I heard that, and I also want to mention, now he talked about Marlena, right? Now, she was up there, we know, the day before Summer went missing. She picked up her little girl, had some troubles, right? Well, early on, I heard, and if anyone knows her husband's name, if you could email me at doolittletalks@gmail.com, I'd appreciate that. I'd like to look into him. I heard early on that he allegedly was an RSO, so there puts another one up on that hill. Now, he says that Marlena and her husband, her old man, was staying up there for a week before Summer went missing and continued to stay up there. Now, I don't know if he's talking about Marlena continued to stay up there or her old man continued to stay up there up until the 19th. I'm going to play that one more time. Listen close.
He's gonna end up dead if I talk.
No, he ain't like that. Not unless she's afraid that he will give up information.
That's what I'm saying.
Puts her guilty.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
That's the only reason that he would. Somebody would. I mean,
I was supposed to meet with her yesterday.
Their accomplice or whatever, you know.
I was supposed to meet with her yesterday.
I know.
I was supposed to meet.
It's just like Marlena Crawford. Like her name's not even mentioned, and she was there that they been staying there like the whole week before. So Mrs. Plymouth to that night. Before she was missing her that night, said something about
Her old man.
Marlena's old man.
Okay, I have a second part to that because I had to just do small clips because I got a crappy computer and it's on overload. And I'm sorry for it buffering and stuff right now. I mean, I told you we have bad weather and all that stuff, but on top of a slow computer is not a good combination. But anyways, I'm going to play this second part. I'm going to mute out.
It's a funny nice last name. He's always in jail or something.
Who was he to? Was he?
It was Marlena's old
Husband. Okay.
Yeah, but see, her name not being brought up in this at all. And like the little girl that stuff that's been seen down there, that's Marlena's little girl.
Well, that's not Robin. Yeah, there was a little girl that was there the day before Summer went missing.
See, the little girl played with Summer a lot, stayed there and played with
Yeah, I was there, but you're saying Marlena was there the day before Summer.
Yeah, she was there the day she went missing.
I tried messaging her.
Right? She was there the day Summer went missing. Well, there was no mention of Marlena. Not the day Summer went missing. And Candace's story does not add up at all. And Grandis kind of contradicts Candace's story. And in my opinion, it sounds like she was having to think awful hard as to what to say. Why? The truth shouldn't be hard to say. The truth is just the truth. There shouldn't be anything to think about. Y'all want to hear that again? Now, he also says that Marlena's husband's in and out of jail a lot, right? Marlena was there the day Summer went missing. Candace fails to talk about that. And Marlena has been like crickets. She's probably one of the few that's not said boo. And I'll tell you something. I heard, I think it's on Nana's channel. I think she goes by Nana, but Nana is Nana to me. But she said something the other day, something about Marlena maybe taking that milk video. I don't know. You can jump over there and hear that. But in that video, she mentions that, and she's not 100%, and so I'm going to say alleged along with her, but that Detective Pruitt is supposed to be Marlena's uncle. Right? I don't know. Y'all, this is just stuff that I just have been mulling over, and still don't know what to 100% believe, until it all comes out. And it might. Seem to have lost connection. I lost connection. I hope y'all can hear me. I guess I'll wrap it up. That may be a sign for me to just stop. So I'm going to leave it on this thought, okay? If there is a big secret life happening down in Beech Creek area, and it has to be exposed to bring Summer home, then that's what's got to happen. That's what has to happen, because this little girl, and I'll go out showing her pretty little face. Whoop, not that. There you are, Summer. Something's happened to this little girl, and she is surrounded by criminals on every side. Something's happened. So if it has to be exposed, that area, and things maybe take a turn for the better down there because of it, so be it. Because this little girl deserves justice, no matter who is involved. I guess I'll end it there. I hope y'all have a great night. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. I know it wasn't on for a couple days. Thank you for being a part of this channel, and tell me what you think about some of this stuff, some of the things that have been said in these little clips. I'm interested always in what you have to say. So until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night.